Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll now have a round of questions and answers, and I'll begin with Dr. Kogan. Would you describe the individual Facebook user data that Cambridge Analytica gained access to through the personality test app that you designed?
Yes, Senator. So we provided them approximately 30 million people's worth of data. This data set had people's name, it had their location, it had their birth date, their gender, and then it listed a number of predicted personality traits, things like extroversion, agreeableness, openness to experience. We also provided a very limited number of specific page likes. This number, Cambridge Analytica chose about 500 page likes from a list of about 150 million. And so we checked, and so it was a small percentage of the total page likes.
Your testimony and past statements clearly indicate that you question the effectiveness of the Facebook user data to micro-target voters in political campaigns. Would you provide additional details of the legitimate scientific scrutiny described in your testimony regarding the effectiveness of using this data?
Absolutely. So to be honest, going in, I thought it'd be a lot more effective. Part of the issue is most psychologists, when we do research, we're not really studying the specific person. We're not studying Senator Moran, we're studying people in general. But this project, we had to really think about how accurate are we, and we found we're just not. So for example, there are 5 personality traits we're trying to predict. We found that for only about 1% of the users were we accurate about all 5 traits. For 6%, we were wrong about everything. And in fact, when we dug further, we found that our accuracy wasn't really much better than simply assuming everybody is average in everything. There are many other ways to tackle this issue. It gets a little technical and scientific, but that's just a flavor for how we realize it's just not quite effective.
How were you able to determine the ineffectiveness? How were you able to make the comparison?
So normally what we do is we collect a large number of people, and here we had over 200,000 people, and we build a model on a subset of them. Say we take 100,000, we put them aside, and we build a model. But then we have the other 100,000 for whom we could both predict the data and we have their true responses. We actually have their survey responses to the personality test. And that's what we do. We build a model on one half, then predict it for the other half and compare it to their real answers. And there we could actually check it.
And I think your testimony indicates that Facebook's tools provide companies a far more effective pathway to target people based upon their personalities than the profile you developed in your project. Describe those tools and their effectiveness.
Yes, Senator. So in short, if the goal of Cambridge Analytica was to show personalized ads on Facebook based on people's personalities, what they did was stupid. Because here's why it doesn't make sense. It's 30 million people. Facebook has over 200 million people in the United States, and the models are based purely on people's page likes, which is a pretty rare behavior. Facebook gives you tools where you could target 100% of the user base and use a lot more of the data. And the way you would do this is use their advertising platform, the lookalike audience. And what you could just supply to Facebook is a list of email addresses, which you could get from a survey where people fill out a personality test, plus give you their email address. And you could choose the 20% that are the most extroverted, take those email addresses, go on Facebook, and say, please find me people like this. And Facebook will use a lot more of its data than just the page likes to try to build models and find the rest of the extroverts. So this would be more effective, and you would reach not only the 15% that we had, but the 100%. It'd still be largely ineffective, but it'd be a step in the right direction.
Mr. Patel, you reacted to some of the things that Dr. Kogan said as I watched you.
I didn't realize that my testimony included, mute responses.
I was going to give you the opportunity to verbalize those responses. What should we take from Dr. Kogan's comments just now?
I think while many of the comments that Dr. Kogan made about how we as consumers of Facebook feel about the data being used, which are, we feel violated and we're certain that more is being used, more is being known about us or listened to or surveilled. The truth is that the entirety of Facebook's data model, its ability to know about not only you as a person, but also as a potential cohort, what's known as a segment in Facebook, is extraordinarily powerful, far more powerful than I think anything that SCL or Cambridge Analytica might have done through this app.
Thank you. Senator Blumenthal.